Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am currently in a reading slump and I desperately want to get out of it. Usually when I'm in a reading slump, I just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. I don't try to force myself out of it. But this reading slump has been caused by a bunch of busyness and just not having enough time to read. And so I kind of forget how much I enjoy reading whenever I don't do it for a while. And so it almost seems like a chore to sit down and read, and like I'd rather do anything else. But I love reading, and so as soon as I get into it again, I know I will enjoy it. I just gotta get myself past the initial stage. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I have read some really good books lately. In fact, I kind of want to talk about them because they are magnificent and you need to read them. So let me go get those books. Actually, just one specific book, because although I have read multiple very good books lately, this specific book is just so good and I've been recommending it every chance I get. I actually read an ARC copy, an advanced reader copy of this book, and I am so glad I did. I read it, the ebook ARC copy, and then I bought my own version because it was that good and I definitely need that physical copy so that I can reread it. I can let my friends borrow it, or I don't know, just to have it because it's just so good. This was actually my first time reading an ARC. I did have an ARC copy of like a children's book, but I don't really know if that counts as much as like this type of reading. And the story was way different than anything I've ever read before. It's about a girl in a jungle and they do like child sacrifices. It's just a lot of craziness going on. And a missionary goes to this tribe and witnesses, and I don't know what I can say without spoiling the book, but just a lot of stuff goes down. It's very intense, but the book is written in a way that it's not super graphic or detailed, and like I feel like it's still pretty PG. I probably would say PG-13. It's not super graphic, but it still does touch on very mature topics, so I still wouldn't recommend it to like younger children, but like an older teenager or young adults, it is so good. It is a story that shows the whole gospel is told, but it goes further and like talks about what we're supposed to do after we've been saved and the calling that God gives us to go and tell others about what he has done for us. There's a character in the book that's dealing with anger, and I love the way that it's written in such a godly way and like a realistic way too, because I feel like a lot of human emotions that everyone deals with is kind of like marked as sin a lot of times. Like a lot of people look down on people who deal with anger, or I don't know. I just feel like there's a proper way to deal with these emotions, and it's also okay to feel these emotions, and so the book touches on that. It's just so good. I feel like if you're a Christian, you need to read this book. Every Christian should read this book. It's such a fun little missionary story, but it also like touches very deep topics and things that we just need to know as Christians, and it has already deepened my relationship with God and helped me in so many areas. So go read it. I definitely recommend it. So since reading that book, I have felt a little slumpy. I've also been crazy busy. July was a super busy month, but August was also super busy. We had a few events at the church, and I also had my nephew had a birthday, so there was a birthday party, and my sister got married in August, at the end of August. And so we had a bridal shower one day and like other wedding preparation things where I was gone. July and August both, if we calculate all of the time that I was gone away from home, it equals a month. Like a month here and a month away, whether that was at my parents' house or at camp or whatever. So I know for the rest of the year I'm probably just going to stay super close to home and probably not stay with my family again, which I'm going to be sad to do, but also I feel like I need to be home. I need to be back at my church and like in the ministries, especially since I am heavily involved in the ministries, which I don't think I've officially have said that we are staying on at least until the end of the year, but probably further on, like we want to stay longer. But definitely until the end of the year we will be here, so that is an answer to the that is an answer to prayer and so exciting. And so we are heavily involved in ministry at the church, and so there is a lot of stuff going on. So I just want to stay close to home so that I can make sure that I am in my rightful place. And also I just miss being here and being with my husband. Anyway, all that to say, my sister got married. It was such a beautiful wedding. I actually recorded as much as I could. I was the maid of honor, or I guess since I'm married it's like matron of honor or whatever. I was not the star of the wedding. That was my sister, and she was so beautiful, and her husband are so adorable, and I love them so much. I'm so happy for them. But I did have a lot of duty and responsibility, so I wasn't able to record everything, but I tried my best to get as many clips as I could. And my brother was gracious enough to record the actual wedding for me, which I'm so thankful for, because I really wanted to make sure I had footage of like everyone walking down the aisle and like them saying their vows and the first kiss and all of that stuff. I really wanted that, but I knew I wouldn't be able to record that from standing up next to my sister. And so I'm so thankful for my brother for doing that. That is that. If you haven't watched that video yet, go watch it. I think it is so beautiful. I loved watching it. I just finished editing it, and I've already watched it like 5 times. I'm not even joking. Like the finished product like 5 times, plus all of the times that I watched it to edit it. So it's just good, and I'm not bragging on myself because I feel like my editing's not great, but just the wedding in itself was great, and so that's why I just love the video so much. And I wish I had like that kind of footage of my wedding, so I really wanted to make sure that my sister had that, because I don't have like any videos for my wedding. I think our wedding was recorded, but we never got our copy of it, and I don't know where that would be at. So I literally don't, I just feel like that'd be such a cool thing to look back on and to show your kids, of course, like when you have kids, and then also just to watch like with your husband. It's just cute. So I'm happy that I was able to get that footage and put it together. I've gotten completely off track on what this video is about. This video is, I'm in a reading slump and I need to get out of it. So I am forcing myself to read so that I can get out of this slump. I'm also in this place right now where I just want to read, and I have so many books that I want to read that it's hard for me to know what to read because there's just too many options. And so I'm going to try to like not allow myself to start any more books. I think I'm in the middle of 3 right now, and I used to read a lot of books at the same time and it was fine and it worked, but right now my brain cannot process that, and I just need to finish it because I keep starting and then never finishing. But I will talk about the 3 books that I'm in the middle of. I'm in the middle of the 3rd book, I think, of the Narnia series, The Horse and His Boy, and I'm loving that book so far, but I have put it on pause because I just kind of forgot about it. I was trying my hardest to finish it before August was over, and then I didn't finish it before September 1st, and so September 1st came and I was like, okay, well, I didn't finish it, so now I'm not going to read it anymore. So I do have that I need to finish. I have another ARC book that I started, Fjord. I don't really know how to pronounce that. Anyway, it is a fantasy book by an indie author. It's Christian based, and I'm really excited for it. I don't really read a lot of fantasy. I'm not a huge fantasy fan, but I have read fantasy books that I enjoy, and so I am really excited for it and cannot wait to see what happens. So that's probably what I'll read the majority of the time because I do want to get through that. I think it comes out next month, so I definitely want to have my review ready, and so I can also do other content to get the word out there about this book. And then the 3rd book that I'm in the middle of, I literally started this last night through Quick and Quinn. I actually already read this book before, and I just want to do a reread. I read this book, but since then I've learned even more like behind the scenes stuff, and I keep wanting to go back to it because like there's things about it that I forget, and I want to go back and see what I'm forgetting. And then also like recently I don't know, it's like a comfort read for me. So another thing is I'm really excited to go into it like with the idea of annotating and tabbing. Like I did tab a little bit. I didn't start tabbing until like halfway through the book, I think. I didn't tab a whole lot. I just tabbed like quotes that I liked a whole lot. I didn't tab like every quote that I liked. So I do want to go into this book with that idea of like tabbing it and like having even like a key of tabbing. And so I'm actually kind of putting this book on pause until my tabs come in the mail. I just ordered some new tabs and I'm so excited. They are actual like reader friendly tabs. So like these kind of tabs like block the words, and so like you kind of have to lift them to read them. So I definitely am excited for those tabs that like you can tab it and still read through the tabs, if that makes sense. I am so happy that I'm rereading it because I just started it last night and I was like, I literally couldn't stop. I was like, this is so good. This is what I wanted. But now I have to put it on pause because I want to wait for all my tabs to come, because there was already things that I wanted to annotate and I'm like, I'm going to forget or I'm going to just neglect it whenever I get to it. And so I want that to be the first book that I really annotate with like underlines and highlights and notes in the margins and all of that. And I think a reread is perfect for that. And also this type of book is also just good for that as well. Okay, anyways, I am yapping. I'm so sorry if this is so boring. I hope it's not boring, but it probably is. My husband is away right now. He left this morning, and so I haven't talked to anybody all day, and I'm super introverted. I don't like talking to people, and so the only person I really talk to is my husband or my siblings too, but like I don't always see them. And I haven't talked to my sister since she got married because she's been on her honeymoon, and like I don't want to bother her, but there's so much I want to say to her. I literally have a notes app filled with conversations that I want to have with her when she gets back. And I haven't been able to talk to my husband today because he's away on a I'm going to just call it a business trip, because he's like at a, I don't know if it's a men's conference or what, with our pastor. So that's where he's at right now. And so I'm home alone, haven't had any human contact, and so I'm finally able to talk, and it's all spilling out, so I'm sorry. Okay, now it is time to read. I wish I had like a physical book because I'm also like in the mood to read a physical book, but I need to finish the books that I'm already in the middle of. I really want to start Fearless, and I probably will read that in this vlog, or at least start it, because I really want to read it. And then also I'm really excited to read Harry Potter. I'm sorry, I said I would shut up and I'm still talking, but this is the last thing I think. I also really want to start Harry Potter, and I never thought I would read Harry Potter, but Erica, she loves Harry Potter series. And also my sister like just bought the whole set of Harry Potter, and like she watched the movies, I think. And so I don't know, I just feel more interested in reading it. I saw also on my Instagram another girl who is currently reading the Harry Potter series, or she's about to start it, and she is going to read it with a from a Christian perspective, a Christian lens. And I try to do that with every single book I read anyway, but I'm even more excited to do that with Harry Potter because I feel like magic can be like very taboo, or it can be an okay thing. Like I feel like it's like depending on your convictions, like your personal conviction with that. For me, I like to see light versus dark. Like you can really see that in like magic elements and like fantasy books and things like that. So that's what I'm really excited for, to see like if I can see like the light versus dark and all of that stuff. Anyway, so excited to read Harry Potter. I am actually planning on doing, we'll see if it actually happens, I don't know, on doing a whole like series on me reading that series, where I can just say all of my thoughts and not worry about giving spoilers. Like it's just gonna be me saying all of my thoughts, because I feel like it's harder to do that with like a book that was recently published, because you don't want to spoil it for people. But like Harry Potter, it's like if you're gonna watch this video of me reading Harry Potter, you've probably already read Harry Potter before, unless you're trying to see it from like a Christian perspective. So I don't know, I'll have to think about how I want to do that. But anyway, let me know if you have an opinion on that. Anyway, like I said, yapping, done talking for real this time, and I'm going to start my book. Again, it has been a whole week since I have filmed that first part of the video, and it has been a lot going on. There was a horrible thing that happened in our country, and I just felt so sad. I was literally like, everything just felt so heavy, and I didn't read. I just have not been in the mood to read since that horrible tragedy happened. It has been a very dark last couple of days. Like, it has just been so heavy on my heart that what happened in our country, and like just the fact that our country is where we are today, just it really upsets me and like made me feel really sad. And so that was going on. So I just felt heavy, and like I didn't really read a lot. I haven't read at all since that first part of the video, actually. I just haven't really felt like it. And then also busyness, like then my husband's birthday was here, and we had family over, and our church is doing a lot right now with Missions Month. I've been teaching school with Ariel, and so it's just been super busy. I just haven't really had time to read, and the whole point of this video is for me to get out of this reading slump, and obviously it is not working. But I'm going to try again and try to get out of this reading slump. I'm currently reading, what is it called? The Fifth Fjord, I think. And I'm enjoying it so much. That night that I read it, I literally like kept saying I need to go to sleep now, and I couldn't. Like at the end of the chapter, like I just could not stop. And so I literally had to stop in the middle of the chapter. Oh, there's my husband. The book was just so good, and I couldn't stop. It's like one of those books where the writing is just so addicting, and like at the end of every chapter, it's like you just have to know what's gonna happen next. There's a lot going on right now. I think I'm 28% in the book, so I'm still not super far into it at all, but she's like in the school right now, and there's just a lot going on. High stakes, you know. A really, really good fantasy book. Like I can already tell I'm going to love this story so much, and I'm so excited for it. And so I literally couldn't stop reading it last night, or that night that I read it. But I haven't picked it up again since then. So hopefully I'll get to reading that some more today, and we'll get a good chunk in. I definitely want to finish that book by the end of the week. Today's Wednesday, so we have a few days to finish that. And then I also want to finish the Narnia book that I'm in, The Horse and His Boy. I'm hoping to finish that as well before the end of this video, or before the end of this week. Hello again. It is next Wednesday, so it has been a whole week again. But I think I am officially out of my reading slump. I actually started a new book. It kind of got a little battered, left to the storm, and I just on a whim decided to start this book. I got a few packages in the mail, and I just knew I wasn't getting out of my reading slump. I was incredibly busy, and I just felt like I needed something different, and something that was not on my phone. So that I could get out of my reading slump. So I wanted to read a physical book. I decided to read this one with the help of my husband, and it has helped me so much to get out of my reading slump. It is such an easy read, and so any easy read that I can just read and not have to think so much about it. Like the other book that I'm reading, it takes a lot of thinking to read that book, and so it's a lot harder to read than just this romance book that, you know, you can just flow through the pages. I started it the other day, and I started it, did I start this in the car? I don't remember. No, I didn't start this in the car. I started it here. But we had somewhere to go later, so I just read it straight through here on the couch, and then we were leaving, and I took it with me and read it some more. I started annotating this book because I knew there was like a lot of good quotes in here and stuff. Someone else had told me that about it, and so I wanted to annotate as I went, and I'm glad I did, because it's been so much fun annotating this book, and it's my first time like writing little notes in the margins and highlighting and underlining things. And I have really enjoyed it a lot. I don't agree with a lot of the doctrine of this book. The main character, well, the people in this book are, I can never think of how to pronounce this name, Apollistic. I don't know. I'll have it on the screen because I never can say that name. My husband has told me how to say it a million times, and I still cannot get it through my mind how to pronounce it. They believe in catching the Holy Spirit and in speaking in tongues, and speaking in tongues is how you show that you are saved and how that you have the Holy Spirit. And so I definitely don't agree with that about this book, and a lot of their like salvation things I don't agree with. And so some of my annotations are just me being like, that is not true, here's the real gospel, and the annotations, you know. But it has been a fun book. I was really heavily thinking about DNFing it. I don't know why I'm pronouncing it so weird today. DNFing it. My husband encouraged me to continue even if I don't agree with everything biblically, and I'm glad because I do enjoy the storyline of it and I do want to know what happens. I believe I'm over halfway done with this book. I'm not actually sure where I left off at and I don't have a bookmark, but I'm almost done with this book. Well, I'm like over halfway done with this book, so I think I can maybe finish this by the end of tonight. I don't know. I haven't had a whole bunch of time to read, and so I've been really wanting to, and now I finally do have time to read. At least I should, because the one thing that was taking up a lot of my time and the last few days have been so hectic. It's finally solved. The issue is solved, and so we are good, and I'm able to read again. I have my time back, I hope, so I can finally read again. So I need to finish this book. I still need to finish Fifth Fjord. My husband finally taught me how to pronounce that title, by the way. I've been saying, I know it's not Fifth Fjord, but I have no idea how to say it, so I'm just going to call it Fifth Fjord because that's the only thing that makes sense. But he finally taught me how to pronounce Fifth Fjord, and I'm really enjoying that. It's just a lot more taxing to read than this book is. But I do need to finish that because I think it comes out in like 2 weeks, and I have the art copy, and so I want to get my review out there. That is what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't believe it has taken me as long as it has for me to finish this book because it was so good and I was really enjoying it. Anyway, long story. So yes, I officially am on my reading slump. It feels so good to finally be able to read again. I'm so excited for October reads. Like, I think it's going to be filled with a whole lot of books, and hopefully they're really good and enjoyable. Yeah, I'm just going to continue reading, and then I will be back whenever I have book reviews to give. But thank you so much for watching. I have finished the books, and it is time to talk about them. They were both amazing books, so I cannot wait. Fifth Fjord. I love this book so much. I was kind of unsure going into it if I would like it or not. I'm not a huge fantasy person, not a huge like dragons fan or anything like that, so I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, and I had no idea what a dark academia book was or what that meant. Our female main character has an aunt who is very abusive and sends her to this school with dragons to spy. So she's sent to this school to spy, and that is her whole purpose while being there. And she is not like any other female main character in other fantasy books that are usually like super strong, super tough, super brave. She was not any of those things. She was actually quite timid, didn't have a lot of skills, and so it was kind of refreshing to read a book with that kind of point of view from a girl that doesn't know anything about fighting and is afraid of dragons, and just very different than what you usually read in a fantasy book. And so that was really refreshing and fun to see her, and then also see her development. Obviously it was a lot of fun to read. I love that so much, and I really enjoyed the love interest. I wasn't sure how I was feeling about it at first with the whole it is enemies to lovers, so I wasn't really expecting that romance, but as it became a romance like near the end of the book, I really enjoyed it. And of course there was a crazy cliffhanger at the end because this is part of a series, and there's a lot of intensity in the book and along the way. Great characters, just great characters in this book. I loved it so much. I would definitely recommend this book. I was so addicted, so obsessed, like I could not stop reading it, and then after I finished, like I could not stop thinking about this book, and I want to recommend it to everyone. If you just want a good fantasy book, this has all the elements that you might want in a fantasy book. I did end up giving this book 5 stars. It was great, amazing, and I love it so much. And I will have my whole review right here on the screen for you to read. This book is the book that officially got me out of my reading slump, Love Through the Storm, and I was not expecting that. Like, I always forget how refreshing it is to read a contemporary romance, just a straight up romance book that is like just cute and fluffy and doesn't have a lot of brain power into it. And I don't say that as a bad thing at all. I definitely like say it as a good thing, because that's what reading is for me. It's just a fun activity to do that shouldn't take too much thinking, and like it's fun to read those fantasy books that do take a lot of thinking every so often, but sometimes you just need a light romance to cleanse the palate, and that's exactly what this book was. got me out of my reading slump was great. This is about a girl who's in college. So this story is mostly just about her journey to finding God. She is apostolate, or however you say that word, so it is a little bit different than what I believe, but it's still, there's still a lot to learn in it, even if you don't have the same denomination as her and you don't believe all the same things, which I don't. But I still was able to learn a lot. There's a lot about trusting God and how God can give you a new story, and like he can forgive you for your mistakes and how to forgive yourself. I liked how it wasn't super predictable. Like romances can be super predictable, and that can be a good thing. That's fine sometimes. But I like that I almost was second guessing myself, like, is she gonna end up with this character? I don't know. I had no idea what was going to happen by the end of it. But it was really a refreshing read. Got me out of my reading slump for sure. Since reading these 2 books, I've finished 3 other books or 4 other books, and right now I'm in the middle of Fearless, and so it's a pretty thick book. I started this a little while ago. After reading Fjord, I really wanted to read another fantasy book, and so Fearless is just the one that I had that I've been wanting to read anyway. But anyway, it's been some great reading. I've had so much fun, and I'm so happy I'm officially out of my reading slump. And I'm so excited about that because I have really missed reading so much. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, if you like content like this, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!